Hey guys, Palsteron here, and today let's talk about my day one update for my Hexblast Mines Saboteur, and also some thoughts on the league mechanic in general. So currently, we are right in the middle of red maps. We've been doing quite a bit of the league mechanic. I will talk a little bit about it later, although I don't know how much of a grip I have yet. It seems very much like a mechanic that is similar to Delve, where you first have to invest a lot of time to kind of set up your ELO in this case, or MMR, or whatever you want. Within this world to then kind of get really good rewards, just like with Delve, for example, where you have to delve very deep before you can make the actual big bucks. Now, one more thing I will talk about is Hexblast, all the updates to it. Obviously, a lot of people have been playing it. The prices have been going kind of crazy, so we'll give you some tips on how to alleviate some of that. The leveling experience of this build has been absolutely crazy. I actually skipped Pyroclast Mine and I immediately went Hexblast. I will show you how in a second. But yeah, other than that, this was one of the smoothest league starts I've ever had. Probably the smoothest campaign I've ever had. And yeah, we're going to see what happens. You just hear from me talking about the league mechanic. You can skip ahead. This is now going to be the Hexblast section. First up, I want to talk about Curse on Hit. The Curse on Hit rings have been kind of bought up. I don't know if it's like flipping. I don't know if it's just because a lot of people are playing it, or like a mixture of both probably. But let's talk about some alternatives. First, the two parts of this build, once again. The first one is either Blasphemy or Profane Proxy on your first curse. Then you have +1 curse. And you get another curse through Curse on Hit from various sources. When I've leveled this build, I got this axe here called Dread Arc for 1 chaos for Hexblast Mines. And at level 38, I started blasting with it. And I never looked back. It was absolutely glorious. So Dread Arc can also get you into endgame. I've been using this until I think yellow maps. The downside of this is obviously that instead of having to like just have a mod on your ring dedicated to it, you have to sacrifice your whole weapon. But what I can tell you is it didn't really matter. The damage didn't really feel bad at all. Obviously, once you swap, you get a lot more damage, but I mean, the price speaks for itself. Now, beyond that, the second cheapest alternative is Elemental Weak Corruption Gloves, and you're not going to get any good ones, right? So these can be corrupted, and it's going to cost you like 27, 30-ish chaos. It's going to be the second best alternative, but now you're sacrificing basically your glove slot, because you're going to get very minor mods in general. But still better than having to sacrifice your wand, right? You're probably going to be fine rest capping anyways. I've had some really shitty ones before I got this ring, for example. So for me, I went exactly through this progression. Dread Arc into LEW Corruption Gloves, and then I basically got my ring. Now, how did I make this ring? Pretty easy. You get an either an Redeemer or a Warlord base. Level 80 plus it has to be in order to be able to roll the curse. And then you go here to Hoarder Crafting Station. You type in Caster, and now you start Reforge Caster. The way the blue juice is priced right now, you're going to pay around about a chaos, a little bit more than the chaos per hit. And I think it's a 1 in 13. I don't know if it's the same for Redeemer, but it was a 113 on the flammability one. I actually hit it twice, but at that point I had enough currency that I just kept rolling because my first one had like no other stats. Here I got at least a little bit of lightning res, a little bit of ES and strength. Yeah, I want to reiterate that Profane Proxy is not a necessary upgrade. In fact, I don't even know if I'm going to run it in end game. Because in end game, you can get an Awakened Blasphemy, which is a lot of AoE. You get +2 curse. We'll see. But yeah, since the prices have exploded this much, I just felt like it was important to point that out. Another important thing is that on console, apparently you cannot automatically detonate. Now, I'm a PC gamer. I don't really know much about console. But I guess some people have said that now you would have to press 2 buttons on console. If I have to think about how that would play, it would probably be a little bit too clunky for me personally, so knock yourselves out. But if you're on console, maybe reconsider playing the build at all. As well as that, a lot of people have been asking me how I got this shield. I crafted it with ROG. Spicy Sushi actually has a guide out on how to make ROG items. It is an incredibly strong softcore tool. I would say a tool in general. Is not just for Soul Saffron. It is completely incredible. He's over on Twitch making like mirrors every single league. And meanwhile, if you just want some really cool upgrades, especially early, ROG is your #1 go-to. I will link the max roll guide down below in the description. And then a lot of people were asking about chaos clusters, right? I'm currently making my own chaos cluster, and people were noticing that, well, there is a weird price thing where if you buy a higher level one, they're actually cheaper than the like item level 50 ones. So there's a pretty easy reason for that. From level 50 to level 67. So if you can see right here, if you want to make a really good cluster, level 50 to 67 actually excludes some of the bad mods. Because funnily enough, some of these mods you really don't want, right? You see here, item level 68, you can get Dark Ideation, which is trash. Overwhelming Malice is not for our build, right? Stuff like Unspeakable Gifts we don't want. So yeah, you're going to have almost only good notables, so if you hit 3 of them, you won immediately. And then a cool idea that Captain Lance had is actually taking the critical mastery, which I agree with now after trying it. 50% increased effect of non-damaging elements you inflict with crit. So this means that your freezes will be way more consistent. They're beautiful, actually, after taking this, as well as getting a little bit extra shock effect. Oh, and talking about Sandstorm Visage, by the way, we were doing our first Sanctum yesterday, which is the tutorial one, quote unquote. And something we noticed is that after the fight, we did not get a boss unique. All we got was this right here, the relic, which was cool. We sold it for a divine. What I'm saying is the way GGG apparently is balancing these uniques now is not making the rare or anything, but making it so sometimes just no unique drops. Well, we're on day 2 now, and I've seen around about 4 of these in the economy. So we'll see what happens. Not that many people are doing Sanctum right now. It is actually quite hard. People need to gear up. Once that happens, I actually feel like these are not as rare as people thought they would be. As you can see right here, we already dropped 2 and we're like, I don't know, into red maps barely. So we just have to see. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get one at like day 3, day 4 for like maybe half the price, maybe a little bit less. I don't know. I'll probably be starting to save for this soon. But in general, just pointing this out, this is why I don't put these items into my main POBs, right? Into like, mid-game POB or something. End-game, it's all fine. But if you test builds, you cannot trust GGG when it comes to these rarities. In the meantime, just make sure that you have increased critical strike chance support in your main setup, because that helps you a lot with the crit problem. In general, when we look at gear, my gear is pretty much trash. This doesn't really do anything. It's basically 3 mod. This is my helmet. I basically just unveiled this. It almost has no life. These are boots I found during the campaign. This shield I made with rock, which I'm probably going to keep for a long, long time. It is incredible. This amulet I bought, I think, for like 5 chaos. Put on Prodigal Perfection. This one I crafted myself, like I said, with Reforged Caster and Harvest. This one I just bought the base and I slammed like 5 or 6 Screaming Essences of Greed on. This belt I think I bought for 5 chaos. And that is about it. My flasks are absolute garbage right now. I don't even have a taste of hate yet. And the only thing I have on my passive tree in terms of jewel is literally this here, which just gives me resistances. No 6 link, so I'm still missing like 30% of my damage there. No level 21 yet. I'm still on level 19. I have them leveled in my offense, so we're gonna see what happens. All right, then let's talk about the lead mechanic. So I've been playing it for the first time yesterday, obviously, like everybody else. And I'm positively surprised so far. The rewards have been really bad, but that's mostly because you have to level up. There's sort of an elo to it. Sort of like the opposite of, for example, Delve, right? Where you delve down and you get better and better rewards. This, your elo goes up and you get better and better rewards. And your enemies are also going to be harder and harder. In general, the gameplay itself was quite fun. I don't know if there's going to be that much tactical gameplay yet, but just... It was different. It was very, very different. I sacrificed like 3 hours of my progression. I would have been done with everything right now. I could have started farming currency, and I didn't really care because it was just fun. The rewards are absolutely terrible at the start, but I've been hearing of people who are a little bit higher than me who have already started getting some divines, which is good to hear. But at this point, I already need a quite good character to succeed. Right now, there's not really a problem. I'm at like 210 elo or something, or whatever the ranking is called. So if you guys don't know, after you did this for the first time, you can travel to the Halls of the Dead right here. I'll just quickly do that to show you. My loading times this league have been absolutely like terrible, by the way. So I go to the Well of Passing, and now you're getting introduced here. So first up, the silver coin is the currency that you need to do these tournaments, right? These tournament arcs. And whenever you do a round, it consumes one of those coins. Now, if we look at the minimap, there are all of these symbols right here, and they all can sell you kind of soldiers that you can recruit, and they can also give those soldiers items who make them stronger. One thing I want to note is that I had a bug where these two did not show up. After restarting, they did show up. So if you have the same thing, just do that. And also, hover down here, you can see all the favors. And the more favor you get, the more you can buy from these ones. So I have like a fresh tournament right here. You can see round 1 matches, and I will get certain amounts of favor depending on who I want to fight first. In this case, free chaos, free GCP. I'm obviously going for the Awakened Sextons. Let's just really quickly try it out, select. All right, so now what did I do, right? I have these warriors from the get-go, right? This is going to change from round to round. So we do this, right? So one thing I want to note is that you probably want to put most of your stuff on the flanks. Flanks are really, really strong. So a little bit of a tactics thing here. If you stand in the middle and you kind of defend and you let your flankers go out there, it is going to be incredibly strong, but I will show you what that means in a second. So let's start the match. Down a little bit. Okay, start. And now what you basically have to do is you have to protect these totems, right? These totems is where your boys respawn, right? So whenever your dudes die, they will respawn at those totems. If those totems get killed, they cannot respawn anymore, right? And they will also die, I'm pretty sure. So if your totem gets killed, you die as well. Which is a problem. And also, good to note is if you die here, you can also respawn. So it takes like 6 seconds or something to respawn. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. So as you can see right here, I'm basically the carry, so to speak. I'm kind of the meta progression, quote unquote. And I just kill everything while my mobs do their work. And they are basically killing these totems. Now you can left click on the totems to stun yourself for a bit and do damage to these totems, right? The enemies have totems as well. I would not recommend doing that. You should basically be the guy who kills the mobs, right? You're very important. You do a lot more damage than your mobs do. So you standing there and getting stunned, not a good idea. After the round, right, you go here, boom. Okay, I got 3 awakened sextants. Boom, go out. Now I got some favor, and now I can go buy some stuff. Now this is a little bit annoying, right? Now you have to hover over here. Okay, so where are the dudes who can sell me stuff? All right, nobody here. 500 here. All right, let's see if I have anything to buy. Enraged Kuna, right? Okay, nice. I got another warrior. Boom. These are items, so they do certain things. If you buy them and then you can drag them in here, it will equip one of your soldiers, right? We cannot afford probably this one. Yeah, this costs a little bit more than 500, so we're gonna wait. And Navali gets 250 every single time. She has like these basic mobs, right? These are pretty weak, but I mean, you take what you can get. At the start, you should just get as many mobs as possible so you can fill out everything, right? But after that, you should probably be looking for some items. We can't afford these either yet. And now all you do is basically you move on, right? So you look at the next rewards. Probably going to take the 4 chaos, but let's see. All right, reduced effective curses on you, shock on you, doesn't really matter. I'm probably just going to take the 4 chaos. And so on. And I think if you die, you have another chance at the tournament, right? It is, I think, double elimination, not single elimination. But yeah, you do this for I don't know how many rounds. And afterwards, you win the tournament. Important to know, after you finish the tournament, not only do you get your last reward, which gets better and better every round, you also get a special reward. So far, I've gotten some okay stuff, but I've also gotten the 6 link, so that's quite cool. In general, I would say it's not the most rewarding stuff, but I definitely feel it ranking up. Now, that being said, the coolest thing about this league mechanic, I think, is that you just find these silver coins and you don't have to use them right away, right? You don't disrupt your mapping gameplay or anything like that. You can literally hand them in later. And it also means that I could just go ahead and like buy 1,000 silver coins right now and just sit here and do these tournaments all day. So overall, it's not a very involved like league mechanic, but it is quite fun and it's completely different way of playing the game. So while yes, right now it's not very rewarding, and yes, it does seem very minimal, I just have to say I think this is a very good implementation, and we're gonna see over the next days what I think about it the more I do it. But first I have to complete my atlas and stuff. We'll have to see. In general, I'm pleasantly surprised in terms of fun factor. I definitely tell everybody to try it out. Maybe you like it as well. But yeah, overall, next I'm probably gonna get a 6 link. Probably going to get a better wand. A 21 Hexblast soon enough, right? That's another 25% more damage. Upgrade my flasks. They're pretty bad right now. Get my large cluster crafted. I already have it prepared. I just haven't crafted it yet. So I'm missing so much damage right now. Afterwards, I'm going to do all the invitations, and I'm going to update you guys either tomorrow or the day after. Either or. Hope you guys had a good lead start. And does I still have a slogan? See you next time.